Florida used to sell sunshine. Now it's selling exit plans. In 2021, Tampa Bay was one of the hottest housing markets in America. Retirees, remote workers, and investors flooded in, chasing warmth, freedom, and affordability. By 2022, homes that once sold for $320K were closing above $500K. Condo listings vanished in days. The Gulf Coast became the new gold rush. But in 2025, that story flipped fast. Tampa Bay's housing dream is now cracking under the same weight that built it: greed, insurance, and denial. Between 2020 and 2023, more than 230K people moved into the Tampa Bay metro, mostly from New York, Chicago, and California. They brought cash, demand, and pressure. Developers rushed to build. Small bungalows became short-term rentals. Entire neighborhoods flipped from family homes to investment assets. Governor DeSantis praised the boom. Local mayors called it economic proof that Florida works. But behind the headlines, costs were mutating. Labor shortages pushed construction prices up 40%. Insurance firms started to bail. And by 2024, even the die-hard boosters began whispering the word no one dared say: bubble. The first crack wasn't in a wall, it was in the mailbox. Homeowners opened renewal letters and saw premiums that had tripled. Average homeowner insurance in Hillsborough County now tops $5,900 a year, with coastal zip codes exceeding $8,000. By spring 2025, Farmers, UPC, and St. John's had all exited Florida, leaving more than 300K policies stranded. Citizens Property Insurance Corp., meant as a last resort, ballooned past 1.5 million policies statewide. For Tampa Bay, that's catastrophic. A single hurricane, just one direct hit, could trigger emergency assessments on every policyholder. The state calls it temporary volatility. Homeowners call it extortion by math. In Pinellas and Pasco counties, aging condo towers face the same nightmare unfolding in Miami: post-Surfside inspection laws, mandatory reserve funds, and skyrocketing maintenance fees. A Clearwater retiree told Bay News 9, "Our monthly dues jumped from $550 to $1,600 in under a year. We can't sell, we can't stay, we can't breathe." Developers who once flipped towers for record profits are now offloading assets. Luxury projects like the one along Bayshore Boulevard have been quietly paused or sold to new owners. Across downtown St. Pete, once booming condo sales fell 22% year over year by mid-2025. At the peak, Tampa's median home price hit $440K. Today, it's down around $380K, still high, but dropping. The problem is cost, not value. Mortgage rates above 7%. Insurance that outpaces property taxes. Condo fees rising faster than rents. A real estate analyst from Tampa Bay Times said, "The numbers don't add up anymore. For a $500K condo, your monthly cost can exceed $5,000. That's New York pricing without New York incomes." First-time buyers have vanished, investors have gone quiet, and sellers are pretending nothing's wrong until the price reduction banner appears on their listing. This is where it turns personal. Tampa Bay was built on the promise of retirement with dignity, but 2025 shattered that dream. A retired postal worker in Largo said, "My husband and I budgeted for $400 a month in insurance. Now it's $1,400. We're selling and heading to Tennessee." Across the region, fixed-income owners are liquidating to escape the fees. Local realtors estimate more than 20% of condo listings in mid-2025 came from retirees cashing out under duress. The governor's office calls it market rotation. But for those packing boxes, it's just survival. As headlines mount, DeSantis blames federal inflation and litigation greed. Local officials blame the state, and homeowners blame everyone. At a recent town hall in Pasco County, residents booed officials after learning that new assessment rules could force another 15% increase in monthly fees by 2026. Economists say the bigger picture is uglier. If insurance premiums keep rising at the current pace, Florida could lose 12% of its retiree population within 5 years, a massive blow to local spending and property values. Tampa Bay's real estate machine isn't dead, it's paused, breathing through a straw. Buyers still want the sunshine, but they want stability more. Developers are pivoting to rental projects and multifamily units. Cities like St. Pete are rewriting zoning laws to encourage denser, cheaper housing. The question is whether it's too late. Because in Florida, you don't need a storm to sink the market, just one renewal notice too high for people to pay. Tampa Bay is learning that lesson now, and the rest of Florida is watching. The headlines still say, "Florida's booming," but beneath the headlines, the phone lines are silent. This is Tampa Bay's reckoning, a warning shot to every coastal city that thought sunshine could outshine reality. Because in Florida, the storm doesn't always come from the sky. Sometimes it comes from the bills in your mailbox.